Thank you all for joining us again. We've been at this a long time, and I want to say how much I appreciate all of the folks in the press industry who have helped us get messages out and, quite frankly, helped us save lives. I know it seems like we've been at this for a long time, but my focus continues to be power restoration for the citizens of our state. You'll hear more about that from Jeff Butler in a few minutes, but first I wanted to give you a few brief updates. Currently, there are 42 shelters operating around the state. Last night, about 2,100 of our residents stayed in one of them. Right now, we have about 496 National Guardsmen on duty. 7 missions have been completed today. 3 missions are currently ongoing. Colonel Whitford could give you more specifics on that if you'd like. We have had a total of 60 DOT crews across the state clearing debris and removing it from our roads. During the daylight hours, we had 14 DOT crews assigned to cities and towns working to clear local roads. Tomorrow, our schedule will be largely the same as it was this past week. 8 a.m. Briefing call with myself, the Lieutenant Governor, and all of our state partners. 8:30 a.m. media availability. 10:45, a call with municipal leaders, and I hope that perhaps that might be our last necessitated by this crisis. 5:30 briefing call for myself, the Lieutenant Governor, with all of our statewide partners, and once again a 6 p.m. media availability for all of you. With that, I'll take some questions, if there are any. Yes. There you go.
There we go.
I finally have worn you out. This is a first for a governor, and certainly a first for me. Thank you very much. I'll have Mr. Butler brief you.
We just hope they're really worn out.
Thank you, Governor. Good evening. So currently we sit with 88,000 customers who have still not been resolved or restored at this time. One thing you need to understand is it also includes approximately 6,800 customers that what we call new outages, customers that were not affected by the storm. We can continue to have outages every day, car pole accidents, other types of things. So 6,800 of those 88,000 are not associated with the storm restoration. This morning we told the governor our customers that we would continue to push towards 99% restoration across our system by this evening. I'll tell you at this time that we have not met our expectations and those we set for all of you. We said this was a challenging goal that we set almost a week ago, and we made it for the right reasons. We made that decision to focus on getting almost at the peak at 831,000 customers, the most in the history of this company, back as quickly as possible. Based on our progress today, we will meet the goal for the majority of the service area. And when I say that, most of the towns, the majority of the towns in our service territory will have 99% of their customers restored tonight. But overall, at this point, we feel we'll be more at about 96% at midnight tonight in terms of customers who have power across the entire system. And we have missed our goal, and for that I apologize to everyone. We do anticipate we will be at 97% at 8 a.m. Monday, and we will achieve 99% by midnight tomorrow night. One of the challenges we have is that with over almost 2,500 crews that we now have working on our property, and that is made up of 1,658 line crews and 824 tree crews for a total of 2,482, an increase of 170 crews since this morning. The challenge of getting all that information as they work through the day back to the system does become a challenge for us. So right now that work is underway. I expect these numbers to improve significantly over the next few hours as we move forward. You know, not achieving this aggressive goal we set for ourselves is not due to the lack of effort, commitment, and passion of the more than 9,000 workers of CL&P, Northeast Utilities, and all the outside crews that came in to support this effort. You know, those people that are supporting this will continue to work until we have all storm-affected customers restored. In Eastern and Western and Southern Division, which is primarily this area is Western, Southern, and Eastern, we do expect that the majority, actually all but 6 towns, will be at 99% tonight. And those 6 towns that will not be, we don't expect to achieve 99%, is Salisbury, Heartland, Barkhamsted, New Hartford, and Washington, and Roxbury. So those, and we are right now reviewing all the information, and we'll be updating that and send that out to the media as soon as we get it updated based on all the analysis we're doing at this point. When you look at the map, you can obviously see that the 2 hardest hit areas, which is the Farmington River Valley, which we call the Simsbury area for this, because that's where our work center is, and the Tolland area, which is, once again, you're looking at this area down in here and this area out here where we have had significant damage. And even as you've watched our outage numbers today, you've seen them go up and down. One of the things that has occurred is we restore power and something else on the line has failed and taken those customers out of power. So that will continue to be the focus. We're doing the analysis of where we expect to be later this evening, but I will share with you that the towns that will have the most significant customers remaining out tonight in the Simsbury area will be the town of Canton, Simsbury, Bloomfield, West Hartford, Avon, and Farmington. And then out in the Tolland area where our work center is Summers, Stratford, Union, and Tolland will be continue to be areas where we focus. And as I said, we'll do the analysis and we'll be happy to get that out to the media as quickly as we can pull it together.
You said Stratford. Did you mean Stafford?
Stafford, I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. And we'll get the where we expect tonight on the percentages for those areas as we continue to move forward. And I will say that we still believe that we will achieve 100% restoration by Wednesday evening. So even though the 99, which I once said, this was a storm of historic proportion. And it was the right decision. I stand behind that decision to establish the goal. We did everything possible to achieve the goal. People have worked very hard for, what, 8 days now? And you know, we need to see this through. I know that's of no comfort to people that have been out of power for an extended period of time. And we continue to get them restored, or focus on getting them restored as quickly as possible. With that, I will be happy to address any questions that you may have.
I'm confused about when you said that the towns that you listed there, Salisbury, that they wouldn't be back. But your own website, the color coding doesn't really tell the story. Your website says Bloomfield is 54% without power, Farmington 58, Tolland 44, West Hartford 54, Summers 56% without power as of 6 p.m. right now.
And what I mentioned is there has been a significant amount of work completed out there. It just hasn't gone through the system yet. We'll be updating that along with our projections, and we'll get that information.
So those numbers I just rattled off are going to go way down in the next 6 hours?
I expect them to go significantly down, yes. And that's why I want to get the update, find out specifically what work's been completed as we go through it, get that information updated for all those towns, and first and foremost, make sure the town leadership understands where we're at, what we've got done, where we expect to be at tonight, where we expect to be tomorrow morning, and continue to focus on that.
Knowing, I mean, we've been saying for, I think everyone has been reporting and saying since like Tuesday or Monday that Farmington Valley and that north central area up around Vernon and Summers and so forth was the hardest hit. You couldn't have prioritized that, or were you just unable to get your equipment in there?
No, it was prioritized. I mean, the other part is you're trying to restore customers across the state. With the resources we had at that time, you know, we put resource in there, but we balanced that against what we were trying to do, because if you put all the resources there, you go 2 or 3 more days with perhaps restoring very few people across the rest of the state. So we have, throughout this event, tried to balance. You know, early on it was road clearing and make safe, which road clearing was far more extensive than anybody would, or excuse me, road blockage was far more expensive than people estimated early on. So we balanced the road clearing, make safe, you know, critical businesses, hospitals, police, fire, balancing that against restoration. So, you know, that is the challenge as you get into an event like this, is balancing all those things and moving as quickly as possible.
So it's quite clear, these numbers that are in the high double digits are going to be the ones that won't be restored fully till Wednesday.
Well,
the Farmingtons, the West Hartfords, the Salmers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Butler, we continue to get reports. I've seen it myself as I've traveled around the area crews waiting for assignments, spending an extended period of time. Bishop's Corner today, for instance, there were 20 crews waiting for work assignments, and once they got working, there was a lot of progress. But it seems to be a delay in getting the assignments out to these crews, whether it's liaison with the CL&P people in the field to make sure. I mean, I understand that there's safety issues. You can't have people working on circuits until it's certain that they're off so nobody's hurt, but it seems like there's been a lot of downtime.
Well, at times there was a tremendous amount of switching going on today, which you can't put crews out there until you ensure that it's been switched out properly, grounded, made safe, so the crews can proceed. When they early this morning when we had our briefings, I was assured that every crew left the yard quickly with a significant amount of work to be performed. But switching does tie into it because you got to both switch it back in, plus ensure all the grounds and everything are removed. So it is part of the process. Sometimes it takes longer than anticipated, and certainly an area we'll continue to look at how do we improve.
We've gotten pictures all day long of people, of the crews there until 9 or 10 o'clock. Did crews start earlier with it being Sunday for Sunday services, or were they starting up at 6 a.m. like every other day?
I'm not sure what the specific times were for each yard. It varied. In some areas last night we worked people a little bit longer, so they came in later this morning. But the focus this morning was getting work packages made up last night. So as those crews came in, the work packages were given to them, and they proceeded with their jobs.
And another question I have, as far as the deadline goes, Mr. Butler, is that something that you set as the president for your crews to meet, or are these deadlines set by what you're hearing on the ground?
It was a combination of looking at the amount of damage we understood that we had early this week, the fact that we had at the peak 831,000 customers out of power, and what we believed we would have with resources. Now, some of the resources came in as expected, some were delayed. We were able, as others wrapped up, we have brought in far more resources. We're significantly above, as I said earlier, with Irene. So looking at what we knew, we established what we thought was an aggressive but achievable 99% restoration. And I stand behind the decisions we made at that time. And we continue to strive to achieve that.
And for those people right now that are making life or death decisions based on when they're going to get power back, the elderly who need wet respirators, families with young children, you can look them in the eye tonight and say, every single one of them in this state, you will have power on by the end of the week?
We're saying we're going to have 100% of our power back by Wednesday is what I said. I didn't say the end of the week. I said Wednesday, and I stand committed to that.
So they will. So every single person who's been dealing with this, they can count on having that power no matter where they are in the state by Wednesday.
I believe I already answered that. Yes.
Mr. Butler, when it comes to West Hartford, the numbers, the outage numbers are 54%. This morning
they
they
went
were
up to 60.
Yeah, this morning they were at 51. Is there a reason why the numbers actually went up?
And it's part of it's tied to switching, where you take safety clearances so the crews can go out to work, and then the other is what I just mentioned, is that we've had other problems occur during the day, where things have been re-energized and there's been additional problems, which results in customers being out. So,
is there anything specific to West Hartford?
not that I'm aware of, other than there's a lot. I mean, there's damage. Well, West Hartford, Avon, Farmington, Simsbury, Canton, Tallinn area, significant damage. Time for one last question, because my focus, once again, is to get these customers as restored as quickly as possible.
Are the number of customers that you're counting as out, or are they just the ones where you believe that you've restored power and you don't believe that there's any service problems to the house? I mean, are we counting the customers that are not receiving electricity right now?
We include all customers that we are aware don't have power. That's why I continue to stress that if power around you has been restored, and it may be a case where everybody but maybe 7 or 8 houses have power, please call in, because that could be a transformer problem. If people around you have been restored and you haven't, please call our customer experience call number and report your outage that you're still out. And because we know there is a significant amount of services out there that in some cases, we know we haven't been informed of. And this is one of the reasons what I said this morning, why we'd be out till Wednesday, is that things won't be reported until after we get everything else cleaned up. So our commitment is to get this done as quickly as possible. And I'd like to close by, once again, we set very aggressive expectations to get this restored. This was, from everything I've heard, the most significant winter storm, even though it happened in October for probably the last 500 years is what I heard this morning. Yeah. That nobody had seen an event like this from the 1600s. Yeah. Our focus was to get customers restored as quickly as possible. Yeah. And once again, I'll close off by apologizing to the fact that we have not met the expectations for ourselves that we set, and certainly for our customers, because we're here to serve our customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.